Today, state your name and tell me what your socials are so everybody knows where to find you.
Okay. My name is Robert Duguay. I'm on Instagram and YouTube as Acadian Adventurer.
Okay.
Acadian, not Arcadian. They're two very separate things. But yeah, that's where you can find me.
Okay, perfect. So first of all, take me back to the first mask or complex cosplay that you did.
Ooh. So I've been a Fallout fan for a very long time, and so my first actual cosplay I did, and it's actually still my most popular one. I bring it out usually to some of the cons I go to, but it's not I try to do other ones. But I have a Fire Breathers cosplay from Fallout 76.
Oh, cool.
So I actually have I have an actual Carnes 1088 fire helmet. I commissioned a front shield from a company that makes them for fire departments, so I have it say Fire Breather instead of Fire Department, and it has my name and all that.
Cool.
And it has 76 instead of the station number. It's pretty cool. And then I have the coat and the pants and all that. But it was really fun. I took it out to Steel City Con in 2018, I think. And yeah, I still bring it out every once in a while, but for some reason that's been my big one.
We're here today in West Virginia. We have just attended the Fosnock Festival.
Yeah.
And how is this your first year to do Fosnock?
It is. Well, it's my second year.
Oh, second year.
But this was the first year I stayed there, in the inn. So I feel like I definitely got the experience last year, but this year I got a completely different, better experience. But yeah, this is my second year here. This is the first year I made my own mask. There were a bit of hiccups. It arrived incredibly late, so it wasn't actually judged at the event. But yeah, this is my second Fosnock.
What your process is, and how do you decide what you're going to make?
Ooh, that's a rough one. I don't know. I just start thinking about oh, what do I want to make? And so I have 3D printers, and so I can make just about everything. So it's almost like decision paralysis, where it's I could make that, but that's gonna take a few weeks. Do I want to do that, or can I make this other thing? And I've worked through a lot of things. I've made laser rifles. I've made a couple of rippers. I've made a bunch of weapons out of the games. And then this year I was just so last year my girlfriend made my Fosnot mask. She did it out of paper mache. It's beautiful. You'll see it when she interviews later. But I was you know what? I want to make my own Fosnot mask this year, and I want something solid. So I was I want to do a 3D printed mask. And
did you bring it in with you?
My original?
Well, the one you brought to Fosnock
Last year.
Oh.
Yeah.
Sorry.
She has it. You'll see it in her interview. She brought it both. So.
Okay, perfect.
But yeah, I was I want to do a 3D printed mask, and so I kind of hemmed and hawed, and I was what's the coolest one to do? And so I'm a park ranger in real life, and I was you know what? I like turtles. The Oog was the only cryptid that I believe could actually be real, because snapping turtles, when they get old, they get really massive. And the Oog was just described as, I think, a 7-foot long shell turtle that would come out of the water and grab you. And I was you know what? I'm gonna do that. And so I decided to commission the file from somebody on Etsy. Their store's since been taken down, or else I would plug their store. It cost me just under $200, I think, for the game rip, and then for them to clean it up into such a nice file.
Yeah, it looks great.
It does. And then I sat on that file, I think, for about a year, and I was every time I tried to start doing the project on my printers, I have a Prusa Mark III, an Ender 3 that's been modified, and a Creality CR30 print mill, but each one of them only prints something roughly a foot by a foot, and this is rather large. Every time I tried to start piecing it out to put on my printers, I just couldn't do it. And so just last month I finally asked my friend, what's his name? His name online is Spring 3D, and Yeah, but I went to him and I was like, hey dude, your printer is way bigger than mine, can you give me a hand? And he really came through.
Yeah, no, it looks fantastic. Yeah, that I can't wait to see what that looks like when I see it next time. Well, like in person.
Yeah.
What is a favorite memory you have as a result of being a maker of these elaborate masks?
Oh, that's a different question. I wasn't prepared for that one.
Well, I'll let you think about that for a second. Do you have any? So, if somebody were to be getting started for the first time in mask making, especially if 3D printing, what do you recommend for them? And do you have any resources that you recommend?
So, especially with 3D printing, I did my research first. I would definitely say that's like the number one thing to do, your research first. A lot of people, when they first get into 3D printing, they pick up like an Ender or something like that. It is a nice printer, but it is one of the cheaper printers, and there is a lot of work that goes into making the printer able to come out with very nice prints. I started with a Prusa Mark III, which now is a little older of a printer. I've been printing for a while. But right out of the box, with minimal training, you can start churning out some really decent prints. And then when you start tuning it, like you just really, it's a wonderful printer. And then my other piece of advice is to make friends in the maker community, because like even with like my printer, it would have taken me so much time, and I had like that decision paralysis to actually like get started on it, because it was kind of out of my wheelhouse. And so because I had friends that had other printers, I was able to go to them for help.
So, do you have a favorite memory?
So it's gonna sound silly because it was actually just this year. And I'm sorry to anybody that I may have met in the past. Like, I'm not trying to devalue that I met you or anything, but actually at this FOSNOT, I got to meet Appalachian Forgery. Yes, Lucas. But he posts 3D print files under the name Appalachian Forgery, and they're fantastic files. And my favorite moment in being in a makerspace was I was talking to him about his Crusader pistol file online, and I saw it online, and my character in the game uses it with a flame magazine instead of the normal magazine. And so I bought his file, and I was like, oh darn, it doesn't have the flame magazine. I'm gonna make one. And so I made an attachment to work with his file, and I uploaded it, and people were using it. And then he completely redesigned the pistol, and it no longer worked with mine. And I was like, oh, that's terrible. Like, I understand, like, he wanted to upgrade his file, but like it sucks that mine doesn't work with it anymore. And I got to talk to him yesterday, and I told him about that, and I was a little disappointed that my magazine doesn't work with the new pistol variant, and you uploaded it. And he went, oh yeah, I updated my STL for the pistol because I saw the magazine that you made, and I wanted to make the rest of the attachments.
Oh,
and
nice.
So it was a result of me making this one attachment for the gun that he like completely redesigned his file and made all the other ones.
I love that.
And it's kind of cool. Like, I don't want to like hype him up and be like, he's my hero, but like, it's kind of cool that like this big maker that like I'm familiar with online, I met him, and then he's like, oh yeah, that thing you did, that's why I did this. Like, it's just kind of cool.